Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So we were discussing the non,
Good evening, sir.
isn't it? Yesterday we were halfway through the non-space step. There we were talking about the kind of interaction between the Chanticleer, the rooster, who was staying in the farmyard of the old widow, and the poor widow used to live with her two children, two daughters, and there was a very smart, handsome rooster, very resourceful, very enterprising rooster. His name was Chanticleer. Chanticleer saw a dream, a nightmare, a very bad dream, where he finds he is being captured by a fox named Russell. So after seeing this dream, Chanticleer is totally upset and he wanted to share his feelings with his most beloved hen. The name of the hen was Potilot. So he not only shared the dream, he also expressed his apprehension. He said, "Ki, look, such type of dreams are very uncommon, and I feel this dream is going to turn into reality. And if the dream turns into reality, I shall be nowhere. I'll be very severely affected by this kind of inauspicious, ominous dream." But Potilot is a very confident hen. She attempts to convince him. He looks Chanticleer, you are unnecessarily becoming apprehensive. You need not be apprehensive at all. Things will turn out in your favor, and nothing is going to happen to you as long as we all are there, as long as there is no issue. Well, you should never be preoccupied with such kind of feelings. But she says, I am discussing non-priest's tale. This is a tale from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. This is non-priest's tale. It's a wonderful tale. It's a beast fable. I told you it's a beast fable. It's a fable. Normally the fables center around the animal characters. But here, three women are present here. One is the widow woman, the poor widow, and her two daughters. So they were living in a village surrounded by jungle. It was a secluded place where she had a farmyard. In that farmyard, he was she was having a wonderful rooster, a very handsome rooster with beautiful plumage, a very enterprising rooster. The name of the rooster was Chanticleer. And it is said the voice of the rooster was very appealing, was very melodious, was very canorous, was very mellifluous, was very sweet. So as a result, the rooster used to feel some sort of ego, some sort of pride in himself. Yeah, I am being appreciated by everyone. So when he saw this kind of nightmare, he was totally upset. He became worried. What would happen to me if the fox catches me? If the fox attacks me? Then he wanted to share it with his beloved hen. He has many hens, but one of the hens he loved the most was Potilot. So he wanted to share it with Potilot. Potilot was a hen with some admirable qualities, some adorable qualities. Out of those adorable qualities was the self confidence, tolerance, courage of conviction, and solidarity. She said, "We all are with you. Why should you have such type of apprehension? Your apprehension is baseless. Your apprehension is impertinent, irrelevant, unfounded. You should never feel you are going to be attacked by the fox." Chanticleer wanted to defend his argument by saying, No, you don't know. What a lot you don't know. I have come across many biblical stories. I have come across many scriptures where dreams are given a lot of importance. And whatever appears in the dream, the same incident turns into reality. If the incidents that occur in the dream turn into reality, then I am sure, in my case, this is going to be a reality. And once it turns into reality, well, Potilot, tell me, what do I do? How do I prevent Russell? So, after this conversation, Chanticleer wanted to have some fresh air. So, he went around in the courtyard. No, not IGNO material exactly, but it is your syllabus. Material is totally mine. This is from your IGNO syllabus. So Chanticleer went there to the courtyard and he wanted to get some fresh air. And there, what happened? He saw from a distance a fox is coming. Look how his dream is turning into reality. His apprehension is going to be real. You can notice the difference between appearance and reality, apprehension and reality, dream and reality. What is a dream? Dream normally is considered to be the reflection of the subconscious at the conscious level. A dream appears when you think about something at your conscious level. And while sleeping, such subconscious thoughts enter your mind and they get imprinted in your mind. So whatever is imprinted in your mind, they are from the subconscious level. And once the subconscious thoughts come to your mind, they get imprinted, they get embedded in your mind. And your mind is like a camera. When it is like a camera, it captures those subconscious thoughts. And those subconscious thoughts appear as a dream. So dream is something which relates to the subconscious. Human mind has three levels. One is subconscious, next is unconscious, and the third one is conscious. So in the dream, the subconscious thoughts appear and they get imprinted in your mind so that at conscious level, you come to know about it. So this is what happened in case of Chanticleer. Now Chanticleer is going into the yard where he comes across the fox Russell. The fox came closer to him. He came very close to him, made an attempt to make friendship with him, spoke to him in a very friendly, amiable voice, and suddenly he began to flatter him. He said, "Is Chanticleer, you are very handsome. Chanticleer, you have wonderful plumages. Feathers. Plumages is feathers." He said, "Chanticleer, you look very smart, very dashing. You appear to be very impressive, very handsome. And I have noticed one thing," the fox said. "I have noticed that you have a brilliant voice. Your voice is very sweet, very mellifluous, very attractive, very pleasant, very canorous." Then he went one step ahead by asking him to sing a song for him. At first, Chanticleer began to avoid him. He said, "Come on, what are you talking? Why should I sing a song at this time of the day? The cocks used to crow in the morning. The cocks are hardly found to crow in other parts of the day." So Chanticleer began to avoid. When he began to avoid, he did not stop flattering him, Russell. Then Russell began to tell him, "Chanticleer, you are one and unique. There can't be a comparison of any animal with you. You are brilliant. You are dashing. You are dynamic. You are enterprising. You are resourceful. You are ebullient. You are handsome. You have a towering personality, imposing personality. You look dignified. You are excellent. You are amazing. So you know the weakness of man is to fall a victim to flattery. The weakness of man is to display his ego. The weakness of man is to prove that he is superior to others. So when Chanticleer came across such type of flattery, such type of encomium, such type of persuasion, he was very much overtaken by pleasure. He was delighted to listen to it. It means he fell a victim to sycophancy. The fox was a sycophant, a flatterer. Sycophant is he who unnecessarily flatters somebody with the hope of getting something in return. Then what happened? The Chanticleer wanted to crow. He said, "Okay, if the fox Russell is persuading me so much, why not I make a sound? I make a crowing sound." So he made a crowing sound, and before making the crowing sound, or before beginning to crow, what he did was he closed his eyes. Because the cock used to close his eyes before crowing. So in the usual fashion, he closed his eyes and he began to crow. When he began to crow by closing the eyes, Russell, the fox, was waiting for this opportunity. The fox used to be very shrewd, very cunning, very clever, very manipulative. Actually, he wanted to persuade to produce sound or crow just to catch him. And he became successful when he began to crow. So fox did not want to let this opportunity go out of his hand. So what he did, he immediately caught the cock by his neck. The fox immediately pounced upon Chanticleer and caught Chanticleer by his neck, then began to run. Naturally, the people present in the farm, they were terribly upset. There was chaos in the farm, and they started shouting. Some animals also began to chase the fox. And when the animals began to chase the fox, Chanticleer wanted to apply his intelligence. Yes, Madam Sunanda. What happened? Sunanda, can you hear me? Hello? Madam Sunanda.
Yes, sir, you are clearly audible.
No, Sunanda is raising her hand. What for? Is she there? Okay, doesn't matter. So, the Chanticleer thought that this is the right opportunity to play some trick. This is the right time when I should persuade the fox to do something so that I can get out of his mouth. Now the Chanticleer's neck is between the jaws of the fox. So when the Chanticleer's neck is within the jaws of the fox, Chanticleer said, "Hey, look, Russell, when these people are chasing you, why don't you tell them something?" He said, "You should give a reply to the people who are chasing you. You should challenge them. You should tell them that whatever chase you may make, you cannot catch me. You are so powerful. You are running so fast. So why don't you tell about your vigor, vitality, vivacity, energy, stamina? Hey, look, in whatever manner you may chase me, you cannot catch me." So the fox is now tricked. The fox thought the Chanticleer is telling the right thing. He's telling the right thing. Why not me? Challenge those people. So the fox, Russell, did that. When he opened his mouth to speak, and he said, "Come on, you may run in whatever manner you may. You cannot catch me." So while saying this, your blocks are mentioned in your syllabus. This is, I think, from block 2. Non-spritz tail falls within block 2. Yeah, block 2. Okay. So we have finished block 1 and we are into block 2. All the blocks shall be covered, don't worry. Don't bother about the blocks. You bother about whatever I am teaching and you remember it, note down it. Okay. All the blocks shall be addressed. Never mind. So when the fox opened his mouth to give a challenge, Look, you people cannot catch hold of me. At that time, his mouth was open, and Chanticleer got a chance to flee away, to get away from the mouth of the fox. So now Chanticleer flew away to a tree, and now the fox feels disappointed. The fox began to lament. What egregious blunder did I do? What Himalayan blunder did I do by challenging those people? I should not have done it. I have made a mistake for which my prey has gone out of my hand. Chanticleer has gone out of my hand. So this is how Chanticleer flies up to a tree and he escaped from the trap of the fox. The name of the fox is Russell, and the prey was Chanticleer. Chanticleer had a beloved named Potilot, and he began to share his dream with Potilot, and Potilot dismissed it as something fictitious, a figment of imagination. But still, then she asked him to be very careful. But it so happened he was caught by a fox on the courtyard, and this is what has happened. Now, this is the tale narrated by nuns priests. So here you find the symbolism of animals, or animal symbolism is used here. What is the symbolism here? The symbolism is animal symbolism. And the animals, they also carry the human vices. Animals like Chanticleer, the rooster, who almost behaves like an animal, like say human being, like a human being, who almost behaves like a human being and shows his vanity, pride, and vulnerability to flattery. I told you the greatest weakness of human being is to become susceptible to flattery, sycophancy, praise, unnecessary praise, undue praise, unwarranted praise. And this is what has happened with Chanticleer. And moreover, after being a victim of sycophancy or flattery of the fox Russell, he also displays his intellectual pride. What is his intellectual pride? His intellectual pride was his talent, his wonderful talent of singing sweetly. That was said by the fox. So he wanted to display his intellectual pride and his self-importance. He wanted to prove that he is second to none. He wanted to show that this is what is my mettle, my talent, which many people don't have. And as you know, his name Chanticleer is also symbolic. His name is symbolic as well. The name of the rooster is Chanticleer, which means to sing clearly. This is a word taken from the French origin. Chanter clair. From Chanter clair, it has become Chanticleer. Now we come across another character, the female character, the hen, Potilot. The hen Potilot is the most beloved companion, beloved hen of Chanticleer. She represented practical wisdom. Potilot represented practical wisdom. She had also a sense of skepticism. She was not prepared to believe that whatever Chanticleer is telling, that is going to really occur in real life. And she dismissed the dream as a figment of fictitious imagination. And while dismissing the dream, she displayed her talent, her erudition, her knowledge to resolve the tension between reason and prophetic insight. She began to resolve or solve or bring about a solution to the conflict between reason and prophecy. What is the prophecy? The prophecy is almost made by the dream. In the dream, he saw that I am going to be captured by a fox named Russell. But Potilot didn't believe it. Potilot applied her reason and she began to weigh reason with prophecy. Prophecy made by the dream. And finally, she came out successful by telling that prophecy is meaningless and reason is to be applied. That is why she said, look, Chanticleer, nothing is going to happen to you. Then comes the character Russell, the fox. The fox is the symbol of shrewdness, cunning, deception, flattery, falsehood, all the evil qualities, all the vices of human beings. So these animals, they represent the virtues and vices of the human beings. That is why animal symbolism is very important in the tale. Then the fox also embodies the danger of persuasive speech, because the fox has been trying to persuade Chanticleer to trust him and to sing a song for him. And the fox became successful. If you take into account the allegorical significance of the story, you can safely say that this is a medieval political allegory. And this is shown by the wisdom, by the cunning of the fox as well as Chanticleer. Now the moral of the story. The moral of the story is the fox had his fall because he became proud. Chanticleer had his fall because he was duped by the fox. So in the Bible, you have seen how man falls from divine grace by tasting the forbidden fruit. In the paradise or in the Garden of Eden, the first man was Adam and the first woman was Eve. Adam and Eve, they were living in the Garden of Eden where there was the tree of knowledge. And on the tree of knowledge, a fruit was hanging. Eve felt tempted to eat that fruit. And he persuaded Adam to pluck that fruit and give her. Adam began to resist it at first, but later on, Eve prevailed upon him, and Eve became successful to convince him he should pluck the fruit. So Adam plucked the fruit and gave it to Eve. Both Adam and Eve They ate the fruit, after which they had the fall, and they were subjected to mortality, death, decay, and degeneration. So that is how the fall of man had occurred in the Bible. Similarly, here you find the
प्रीतम
fall.
का कुछ दोष नहीं है, वो तो है निर्दोष, अपने आप से वादे करके।
Okay, somebody is playing music. Did you hear it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
His
It
name
is
is Mama
music.
Mami.
Yes, sir.
So I was trying to, mute him. That's what I was asked by RC Bhubaneswar, but now I can't operate it. I mean, he says ki you can't mute him.
Now we can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir. It's okay. That is mute.
Okay, now you can hear me, but there is a disturbance.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes sir,
okay,
yes sir.
we'll continue. Okay, we'll continue. Thank you very much for your patience and all that. Thank you.
Yes sir.
So you have the fall of man. I told you, as I told you, the fall of man occurred because of the mistakes committed by Adam and Eve. What kind of mistake? Eve wanted to taste the fruit of the forbidden tree, the tree of knowledge, which was found in the Garden of Eden, and man became mortal. Otherwise, man would have been immortal. And that is the significance of the Bible. So here you find this flattery and pride of Chanticleer. The pride of Chanticleer has brought about his downfall. Bobita is teasing you. I can't imagine you are grown up children. Why should you behave like this? If you are not interested in the class, you should never come. You should never report. You should stay back, stay out. It's really ridiculous. Okay. So here you find the Chanticleer. Chanticleer is punished, or Chanticleer had his fall, had his downfall because of his pride, arrogance, and the fox had his downfall because of his cunning, because of his shrewdness, because of the display of vices in his character. Uh, so they tell, the non-speech tells, yes, the
Hello, sorry,
non-speech.
sir. Did you say my name?
Sorry,
Sir, did you say my name? Did you take my name? I couldn't follow that time.
what's your name? Mama, Mami.
No, 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 sir.
What?
Babita.
What's your name? Bobita.
Yes, sir.
No, I didn't take your name.
Okay, sir. Okay.
No, I didn't take your name. You are so nice. No, I didn't take your name. Uh, so, these people, they fell victim for their own flaws, for their own mistakes. Now you find the mock epic symbolism. The chase scene. Which chase? The fox is running ahead and the other animals are chasing him. It parodies the epic battles with hens, widow, farm animals replacing the knights and armies, symbolizing how grand human ambitions often mask petty concerns. So, it has the mock epic significance. In an epic, what happens? A fierce battle takes place. What happened in the epic, the Iliad of Homer? Who can say? What happened in the epic Iliad of Homer?
It was based on the Trojan War, sir.
Very good. Between whom? The war took place between whom?
Uh, Troy and the Greek. I'm sorry,
Greeks
I'm
and
not
Troy.
very.
Very good.
Okay.
Troy and Greece. Very good. Absolutely right. And
And it was also because of the taking away of Helena of Troy. Sorry,
Helen belongs to which country?
she was
Sir,
from
Troy,
the
I think so.
Trojans,
Hmm?
and
Sir,
the
Troy.
Greek took her. Yes.
Helen belongs to Troy? No. Helen
So
belongs to
Greece.
Okay,
Greece.
and okay, my mistake. Okay, I'm
No,
not
that's
very
so.
sure on the fact. I
Uh,
read it a long time ago. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. Okay, then. And it occurred for how many how many years, or how many months? Do you have any idea?
Uh, no, sir, I don't remember the details. I just remember this.
The
For
war
20 years.
occurred between Greece and Troy when the Greek beauty, stunningly beautiful lady Helen, was kidnapped by Prince Paris. Paris becomes the son of King Priam of Troy. Priam is the king of Troy. He had a son. His name is Paris. Paris eloped with Helen. Helen was married. She was married to Menelaus. She had a daughter named Hermione. So, leaving behind the daughter and husband, she came away with Paris to Troy. So, the Greeks took it as a moral affront, as an insult. And what did they do? They began to attack Troy.
Yes, sir.
When they began to attack Troy, the commander was Agamemnon. There were other heroes like Odysseus. Okay. Uh, Achilles. Yes. Achilles, Odysseus, and others were there. It was fought for 10 years. When it was fought for 10 years, what happened? You know, it was fought for a long time. And during that time, the soldiers of Troy and the soldiers of Greece, they were having a fierce battle. And that fierce battle is known as the Iliad. That is why it is an epic. In epic, what happens? A fierce battle is fought, and epic is written in a very high flown language. And epic displays or embodies the, the heroic exploits of the protagonist. Could you find out who is this Mama Mami? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Who
So
is
they
this
might be the
Mama?
same people. They
Same
might be
people,
the
he
same people
has
from.
changed his name.
Yeah, it is possible. And they are still on call, so it's just a matter of time. They might just, come back and do it again.
So can't you mute that person properly or
Huh?
exit? Can't you, sir, is it possible to mute that person or make the person exit, remove?
I don't know what's his intention. It's very strange why he is coming here.
Sir, I don't think this person is a student. They are just here to
The
create
person is not there.
problems. No, no, I don't think he's a student.
No, he's
He
not. He
might
cannot
just
be a
be,
student. A student doesn't behave
yeah,
like this.
just might be.
A student doesn't behave like this. You are right. Let me tell the RC Bhubaneswar. Just a minute. ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେ ପୁଣି ଆଜି ମତେ ତ କୋ-ହୋଷ୍ଟ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ତ କରିପାରୁନି ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ହଁ ନାଇଁ ହଉନି ସେ ଅପରେଟରକୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ତା ଛଡା ସେ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଆଜି ପୁଣି ସେଇ ପିଲା ନାଁ ବଦଳେଇଛି ମାମା ମାମି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ମାମା ମାମି ବୋଲି ଏବେ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଭିଡିଓ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ମାମା ମାମି ବୋଲି ଏମ୍ ବୋଲି ଫ୍ରଣ୍ଟରେ ଦେଖଉଛି ସେ ନାଁ ବଦଳେଇକି ସବୁ ଆସୁଛି ସେ ସେଇ ମ୍ୟୁଜିକ ଗୋଟେ ବଜାଉଛି ସେ ନନ୍ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ସେ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ନୁହେଁ ନନ୍ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ବୁଝିଲେ କି କୋଉଠୁ ଲିଙ୍କ
He's
ନେଇ
a
କରି
meeting, Mama.
ମାମା ମାମି ହେଲା କି ହଁ I told them, he said I'll mute him. So we'll continue. So this is what is the epic theme. So this is like a mock epic. What is a mock epic? Mock epic is an epic which creates humor, which creates a kind of what kind of humorous situation. Here you find when the fox is running with the Chanticleer within his jaws. At that time, the fox is being chased by uh, whom? By the animals and the widow and her daughters. Did you see? He is making by and going away. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we saw.
We saw.
Yes.
He is muted by RC Bhubaneswar.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can see that.
Ah. He said, bye guys, and he went away.
Yes.
He is not a student.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%.
And I wonder how these people they gave me the explanation. He said, we didn't give them the link. The link he has perhaps collected from one of his friends.
Yes, sir. The students itself.
Ah, so the students are involved also. The students, why should they give the link to others? They should
So
not.
we are having lots of group,
Well,
MA group, many groups. So even we don't know from where we are joining these groups, and
that might be.
even our own email and our phone numbers has been leaked. I don't know
Oh,
how, because so many people are calling us like, do you need assignment? Do you need something? Like
uh,
regular messages, calls, and
Yes,
everything is
sir.
coming for us.
Study
se pila
material, correct.
buy କରିକିରି ଗଲା. Bye guys କହିକିରି ଗଲା. ବୁଝିଲେ?
Sir,
ଆପଣ ଆପଣ ଟିକେ କହନ୍ତୁ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟର ଅପରେଟର ଯିଏ ନେଟ୍ ଅପରେଟ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ମତେ ମତେ କୋ ହୋଷ୍ଟ କରିଦେବେ ଖାଲି ମତେ ନାହିଁ ଟୁ ଅଲ୍ ଦ କାଉନସେଲର୍ସ ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ ହଉନି କିନ୍ତୁ ହଉନି ଆଇ ୱାଣ୍ଟେଡ ଟୁ ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ହିମ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ରିମୁଭ୍ ହିମ୍ ଆଇ କୁଡ୍ ନଟ୍ ରିମୁଭ୍ ହିମ୍ ରିମୁଭାଲ ପାୱାରଟା ବି ଦେଇ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ କୋ ହୋଷ୍ଟକୁ ତାକେ ନାଇଁ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି ଆପଣ ଦେଖୁନାହାନ୍ତି ନାଇଁ ହଉନି ହଉନି ତାଙ୍କୁ କହନ୍ତୁ ଆଉ ଥରେ ଭଲ କରି ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ମୋ କଥା ଏକା ନାହିଁ ସେ ସବୁ କ୍ଲାସରେ ବି କରିପାରନ୍ତି କଣ କରିଛନ୍ତି ପିଲା ମତେ କହିଲେ କହିଲେ ସାର୍ ଆମଠୁ ମାନେ ଆମରି ପିଲାଙ୍କଠୁ ସେମାନେ କେମିତି ନେଇଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ଲିଙ୍କ ଏବଂ ଆମ ଫୋନ ନମ୍ବର ବି କେମିତି ନେଇଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ଆମ ପାଖକୁ 10ଟା କଲ୍ ଆସୁଛି ଆପଣ ଏଇ ଆସିଷ୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି କି ଏଇ ହେଲ୍ପ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି କି ଆମେ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିବୁ ଏ କରିବୁ ସେ କରିବୁ କେମିତି ଆମ ନମ୍ବର ଯାଉଛି ଇ ଫେଲ୍ ଟୁ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ
yes,
ତାହେଲେ ମେଲ ଆଇଡି ନମ୍ବର ସବୁ ନେଇଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ଆମଠାରୁ ତେଣୁ ଏଇସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଟିକେ ଆରସି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ସୁଡ୍ ଟେକ୍ କେୟାର ଆଉ ଏଟାକୁ ମେକ୍ ଅଲ୍ ଦ ଅନଲାଇନ୍ କାଉନସେଲର୍ସ ପ୍ରଫେସର୍ସ as the co-host so that they will be in a position to remove those mischievous elements ହେଲା କି ଆଜ୍ଞା thank you so this
sir,
is what you know has happened and this mock epic creates humor arouses interest of the people and here the significance of this non-space tale is the chase made by the widow, her two daughters, and the other animals of the farm. So they have been chasing the fox Russell. The fox was carrying the Chanticleer within his jaws, and the Chanticleer is within the jaws of the fox. The fox is running ahead, and these farm members, the animals of the farm, as well as the widow and her two daughters, they have been chasing the fox to save Chanticleer. So the entire situation is farcical. The entire situation is mock epical and humorous. So this is what is your nonce priest tale. This tale was narrated by the nonce priest while going on the onward journey to the shrine of Saint Thomas Becket at Canterbury. Okay, so today we will move on to the next unit, that is the age of Renaissance. Might be another block, I don't remember. So while taking up a look at the Renaissance, I would expect from you, how do you understand the meaning of Renaissance? It's an open question to all of you. What do you understand by Renaissance?
Sir, revival.
Revival, rebirth.
rebirth.
Okay,
Revival,
very good.
rebirth.
Now, revival of what? What is being revived?
Sir, revival of thought, art, literature, and all.
Wonderful. Why should it be revived? Where did the thoughts go? Ancient knowledge, okay. Where did the thoughts go? What happened?
So, as we know, medieval age is considered as the age of darkness. So,
Good.
during this period, knowledge, literature, art, all this got revived.
Rashmi. Is it
Yes, sir.
Rashmi?
Reshmi. Reshmi.
Thank you very much. Rashmi. Thank you very
Reshmi.
much. Absolutely right. The medieval age of the 15th century was a dark age, gloomy age, effete age, sterile age, unproductive age. During that period of time, nothing was produced. No literature worth the mention was produced. Whatever literature was produced, it was produced during the 14th century. During the age of Geoffrey Chaucer, William Langland, John Gower. And out of those famous works, you know, General Prologue to Canterbury Tales itself, The House of Fame, The Legend of Good Women, The Book of the Duchess, Troilus and Cressida. These are the works written by Chaucer. William Langland's famous work was Pierce the Plowman. And similarly, John Gower was also a good poet. So apart from these three, there was nobody to produce any good literature. But after them, in the 15th century or medieval age, darkness, gloominess, sterility prevailed. Then, in the 16th century, a new sun of creativity, prosperity, literary production, and wisdom began to rise in the eastern sky of England. What kind of new sun of creativity arose? Because in those times, Queen Elizabeth I was ruling over England. When she was ruling over England, there was political stability, social contentment, administrative efficiency, good health care, spread of education, growth of literary activities, flourish of science and technology, everything occurred. And during that time also, the greatest gift of science, the printing machine, was invented. So some fugitive scholars came from Greece and Rome, and they carried with them the works of Homer, Virgil, Ovid, Horace, Catullus, Aristophanes, Aeschylus, Seneca, and other people. When they brought these works, those works were immediately or quickly printed, translated into English, and printed. And it was spread across Europe, like France, Spain. They began to distribute it. So after coming to know about the growth of literature, and especially the spread of Greek and Roman literature, Greek and Latin literature, some university professors, they made an attempt to produce literature, to write literature on the model of Greek writers, Homer, Virgil, Ovid, Horace, Catullus, Aeschylus, Aristophanes, etc. Seneca. So who are these people? They are university professors. And these professors, they were called the university wits. So literature took a great leap, received a wonderful motivation by the writings of these people, the university wits. And who are these university wits? What are their names? They are Thomas Kidd, Robert Greene, George Peele, Thomas Nase, John Lilly, Christopher Marlowe. If you go to Marlowe, there you find he has produced wonderful plays. And these people, especially, they focused on drama. You must know that during the period of Renaissance, drama flourished. Drama as a literary genre flourished. And what did they write? They wrote plays, taking into account the prevalent contemporary socio-political, cultural, economic, political scenario. And Marlowe wrote 4 significant plays. They are Tamburlaine, Jew of Malta, Dr. Faustus, and Edward II. And these plays became extremely popular among the British readers. I have explained to you how the Britishers, they love literature. People call them as commercial people, mercenary people. But still then, you must remember that they are very much interested in literature. And in those times, what happened? They wanted to stage those plays. And there was no theatre hall, so they made arrangements to present the plays on the streets. So Renaissance is a kind of intellectual and cultural movement. Renaissance is a period of history, and you may call it the European cultural movement covering 2 centuries, 15th century and 16th century. And Renaissance is instrumental to bring about the transition from the medieval age to the modern age. It marked the transition from the Middle Ages or the medieval age to the modern age. It is also an attempt to revive the ideas and achievements of classical values, classical antiquity. They wanted to revive classical literature. They were associated with great social changes in different fields such as art, architecture, literature, politics, science, exploration, etc. The Renaissance was first centered in the Republic of Florence. Remember, the place of origin of Renaissance is Florence, not England, not London. Yeah, Florence in Italy. So Renaissance occurred first in Florence. Then it spread its tentacles to the rest of Italy and later throughout Europe. So it means the rebirth or the revival. And Renaissance believed in championing or espousing the cause of humanism. Renaissance laid importance on humanism. He said that humanism is very important. Renaissance intellectual basis was founded in its version of humanism. And classical Greek philosophy of Pythagoras was taken into account. What did Pythagoras believe? Pythagoras believed that man is a measure of all things. And there is a Greek philosophy known as Protagoras. They call it Protagoras. Protagoras also believes that man is the fulcrum around which the whole universe revolves. In the field of art, There were great artists like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci from Italy, and they inspired other people, and Renaissance occurred. In the field of politics also, Renaissance contributed a lot. What contribution was made by Renaissance in politics? Renaissance taught international diplomacy. Renaissance taught international diplomacy. So in every sphere, Renaissance left its mark. In the sphere of art, in the sphere of literature, in the sphere of diplomacy, in the sphere of science and technology, in the sphere of music, everywhere Renaissance left its footprints. And Renaissance scholars employed the humanist method in study. What did they study? They studied, the human values, human qualities, human attributes, human wisdom. Uh, so Renaissance carries a great significance in the entire spectrum of world literature. And Renaissance especially contributed to the flourish or growth of English literature during the 16th century in England. Many people make the argument that ideas relating to Renaissance originated in Florence of Italy with the writings of Dante. They want to offer maximum credit to Dante. And they say these people, they were very much indebted to Dante. And Petrarch. Petrarch taught these people how to write sonnet. Dante taught these people how to write epics, because Dante's Divine Comedy was a great source of inspiration for the writers. The socio-political structure of Italy led people to theorize that this socio-political structure must change. So Renaissance believed in change. Renaissance believed in reformation. Renaissance brought about new values, new social commitment. We have already discussed how Black Death, 100 years of war, had a very deterrent effect on England in particular and on the globe in general. So after that, Renaissance brought a new spirit, brought a new enthusiasm among the people. People were enthusiastic in different spheres, such as art, architecture, literature, and other things. So let's now discuss the characteristics of the period of Renaissance. During the Renaissance, the spirit of humanism became very popular. What is humanism? To attach importance to human feelings, human condition, human predicament, human virtues, human vices. In some ways, Renaissance humanism became a method of learning. Because in medieval period, they were focusing on resolving the contradictions. But during the Renaissance, attempts were made to focus on human values, human ethics, human morality, human predicament, human predilection, human likes and dislikes. So the humanist scholars, they began to shape the intellectual landscape in England. There were philosophers like Machiavelli, Thomas More. They wrote their philosophical discourses and began to create a kind of awareness among the people. So humanism was the best tool during the Renaissance to concentrate and make a foray into literature. In the field of art and architecture, I told you, in the field of music, in the field of diplomacy, in the field of science, in every sphere, the stamp of Renaissance was felt everywhere. In the field of navigation, maritime activities, everywhere there is the stamp of Renaissance. In the field of religion also, there was the stamp of Renaissance. So Renaissance brought about certain changes, very remarkable changes in various spheres. During the Renaissance, people became aware. They felt very much patriotic. They felt that patriotism is our main motto. They began to realize that French language is in no way superior to English language. Our language is the best. And they began to champion the spirit of patriotism, nationalism. They became patriotic. They became extremely committed to their own land, and they never felt any kind of deficiency in any sphere. They found that everything is absolutely fine, and it is our duty to spearhead a kind of campaign to make people feel how Renaissance is making contribution to enrich literature, and how literature can prosper. So literature could prosper because of the contribution made by the Renaissance from various angles. Okay, so this is how Renaissance, the period of Renaissance emerged. And during the Renaissance, another thing is noticed, that the spirit of individualism. Renaissance championed the spirit of individualism because there they began to feel that the society must take care of the individual. We have discussed what kind of existential problems are being faced by individuals. And every human being at different point of time used to face various problems, various issues in the society. As a result, it is the duty of the state, duty of the government, duty of the fellow men to champion the cause of individualism. If an individual prospers, the state prospers. How can the state prosper unless the individual prospers? So that is how individualism was also championed. Humanism, individualism were championed during the period of Renaissance. Now, we will switch over to Edmund Spenser as a poet. We will be reading his poems like Shepherd's Calendar and Fairy Queen. Now we will discuss what is the poetic contribution of Edmund Spenser to the spectrum of poetry, to the landscape of poetry in the 16th century. Edmund Spenser was born in 1552 and he died in 1599. He is undoubtedly one of the very important figures of Renaissance literature or Elizabethan literature. He is a great poet. He holds a unique position. And Charles Lamb, an essayist, he described Edmund Spenser as a poet's poet. He said Edmund Spenser is not simply a poet, but Spenser is the poet's poet. Writing in Elizabethan period, he fused Renaissance humanism, classical learning, Italian romance, and medieval allegory into distinctly English form. So what kind of poetry did he write? He wrote poetry during the Elizabethan period and he made a fusion among Renaissance humanism, classical learning, Italian romance, and medieval allegory. So many aspects he dealt with in his poetry. So his poetry is very enriching, very enlightening, and very enjoyable. His ambition, as he declares in his works, was to create a national epic for England, something to stand alongside Virgil's Aeneid or Ariosto's Orlando Furioso. So he wanted to create a national epic of England. It could not be fulfilled. Spenser wanted to write an epic, a national epic, in the model of Virgil's Aeneid or Ariosto's Orlando Furioso, the Roman poets. But it could not be fulfilled. He had a wonderful poetic vision. The poetic vision of Spenser is unique. His poetry envisions, displays idealism and moral allegory. His poetry is not simply based on emotion and imagination. His poetry is based on morality also, idealism also. Edmund Spenser's poetry displays moral, spiritual, ethical, transcendental ideals. Because in the Fairy Queen you find each book of the Fairy Queen, there are 6 books. Spenser wanted to write 12 books of Fairy Queen, but he could not write 12 books. It was confined to 6 books. And the 6 books of Fairy Queen championed a particular virtue, like holiness, temperance, chastity, etc. He made his verse as a blend of a beautiful blend, a unique blend of narrative delight and moral instruction. Narration style is wonderful, heart-touching, pleasing, impressive. And along with that, there is moral instruction. Indirect moral instruction is left behind. by his poetry. In his poetry, we also find there is the stamp of nationalism and Protestant ethos. There is stamp of nationalism. As I told you, nationalism is one of the traits of Renaissance literature. This was justified by Spencer. And his poetry reflects Elizabethan nationalism, glorifying Queen Elizabeth I as Gloriana or Belfair, and aligning England's destiny with divine providence. He is a supporter, he is a great admirer of Queen Elizabeth I, and he depicts Queen Elizabeth as Gloriana. In his poetry, he refers to Queen Elizabeth I in the character as Gloriana. Even he portrays another character, Belfair, and he aligns England's destiny with divine providence. If England is supposed to improve, if England is supposed to make rapid strides, make rapid progress, it is only possible due to divine providence, God's grace. Spenserian poetry also depicts courtly love, platonic beauty, Christian morality, and romantic love is elevated into a moral quest. So his poetry is very substantive, very useful, and very memorable. This is about the body of his poetry, the theme of his poetry. What does he deal with in his poetry as themes? Love, platonism, nationalism, patriotism, moral lesson, idealism, romantic love, etc. While focusing on the style of Spencer, we find that the style of Spencer hinges around inventive language. His language is inventive, innovative. He always makes efforts to use new type of language. Spencer uses diction by making a blend of Chaucerian archaism and elegance of Renaissance period. So archaism and elegance, they are blended together in his poetry. There is archaism of Chaucer's age or medieval age, and there is also the elegance, the beauty of the period of Renaissance. He is inventive. He has invented a kind of stanza known as Spenserian stanza. What is Spenserian stanza? Spenserian stanza consists of 9 lines. 8 lines are iambic pentameters, and next line is a hexameter, iambic hexameter or Alexandrine.
Sir, would you please repeat Spencerian stanza?
Which one?
Spencerian stanza.
Yeah, Spencerian stanza comprises 9 lines. First are 8 lines. They comprise iambic pentameters. Iamb, you know, short syllable followed by a long syllable. Pentameter means 10 syllables total. Then one line, that is the 9th line, it contains a hexameter. Hexameter means 6. Penta means 5, hexa means 6. 6 into 2, 12 syllables. So 8 iambic pentameters and 1 iambic hexameter. Hexameter is otherwise known as Alexandrine. Okay. Then comes the melody of the Spenserian poetry. Spenser's poetry is musical, melodious, elegant, and sweet. The rhythms are smooth, language is simple and lucid, rhyme is harmonious, and Milton, a great poet like Milton, he praised Spenser by saying that Spenser writes well-turned, true-filed lines. John Milton, the renowned poet of 17th century, praised Edmund Spenser sky high, and he said, कि Spenser writes well-turned poetry, true-filed poetry. Then let us come to the themes of Spenser's poetry. What all themes he used to deal with. I have told you themes of love, themes of morality, themes of estrangement, themes of idealism. And apart from that, he also makes use of allegory. His works operate on multiple levels: literal adventure tales, having moral and theological allegorical significance. So Spenser makes use of allegory in his poetry, and the type of characters he uses. The type of character that Spenser is found to use, those characters are found to be very virtuous. He celebrates virtues in his characters. Say, for example, in the Fairy Queen, Book 1, he has made use of a character called Red Cross Knight and Una. Red Cross Knight and Una. Red Cross Knight is the lover, Una is the beloved. Both of them get united, and both of them are virtuous. They are good people. They are very righteous and good people. So through the character of Red Cross Knight and Una, Spenser portrays human virtue. Spenser outlines human virtue through these characters. Who are the characters? Red Cross Knight and Una. He also celebrates vices, displays vices through the characters like Duessa and Archimago. Duessa and Archimago are two corrupt characters, immoral characters, villainous characters. So Duessa and Archimago are vicious characters, whereas Red Cross Knight and Una are virtuous characters. So he makes a blend of virtue and vice in his poetry. That is why we love Spencer. That is why we recognize Spencer as a wonderful poet. And in fact, it is Edmund Spencer who has laid the foundation stone for Elizabethan poetry. He has made outstanding contributions to Una, U-N-A, Sarmishta. U-N-A, Una. Una is a female character in
Okay, sir.
book 1 of Fairy Queen. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Then she also makes use of nature. She displays nature in her poetry. He is a lover of nature. It's not that Wordsworth is only the lover of nature. No. Edmund Spencer used to portray nature because he has written pastoral poetry in the Shepherd's Calendar. The Shepherd's Calendar is the example of pastoral poetry. There are eclogues. An eclogue is a pastoral poem. So, his pastoral poetry comes to the fore through his poem, The Shepherd's Calendar. And this poem, The Shepherd's Calendar, shows sensitivity to nature and idealized rural life. In The Shepherd's Calendar, Spencer has spoken about the elegance, the beauty, the charm, the pleasure of rural life. He has begun to sing the glory of rural life and how rural life everyone looks forward to live in. So he is very much responsive towards nature. Edmund Spencer is also very much appreciative of beauty, maybe the beauty of nature, maybe the beauty of a landscape, whatever. Then Spencer also deals with love and marriage. And he perhaps draws inspiration from Petrarch. Edmund Spencer focuses on love and marriage, and he draws inspiration as far as marriage and love are concerned from Italian poet Petrarch. So he has adopted the conventions of Petrarchan love with personal sincerity, and he celebrated love for Elizabethan Boyle in a dignified and spiritual manner, for Elizabeth Boyle. So Petrarch has celebrated love in his poetry. The same tradition is acquired by Edmund Spencer. Petrarch was showing his love for Elizabeth Boyle, and Edmund Spencer is also trying to celebrate love in his poetry. If we focus on the major works of Edmund Spencer, we find that the Shepherd's Calendar, which is a pastoral poem, which was written in the year 1579. These are all allegories, pastoral allegories, with political and moral undertones. There is political undertone and there is moral undertone. Then we come to the Fairy Queen. The Fairy Queen is written in 2 pages. The first page was in 1590 and the second page was written in 1596. It was an unfinished Arthurian romance because Spencer intended originally to write 12 books, but he ended up by writing 6 books. So, Fairy Queen was written in 2 phases, as I told you. One is 1590, the other is 1596, 6 years after the completion of 4 books, another 2 books were written. And this book, The Fairy Queen, was intended to be an epic, but this remained unfinished. And this remained as an unfinished epic of moral allegory, which blended Arthurian romance, classical epic, and Protestant theology. This is a blend. Fairy Queen is considered as a blend of Arthurian romance, classical epic, and Protestant theology. Then in 1595, he wrote 2 sonnets, Amoreti and Epithalamium. This is a sonnet sequence leading to marriage, which is unique for the celebration of successful love. So Amoreti and Epithalamium, they are based on love and marriage. Start of love, growth of love, culminating in marriage. So this is a sonnet sequence, Amoreti and Epithalamium. Then comes another wonderful poem, Prothalamium. Prothalamium was written in 1596. In Epithalamium, marriage was conducted. In Prothalamium, a marriage ode was written. This marriage ode or marital ode in form of Prothalamium, the poem, it celebrates grace, beauty, honor, commitment, humility, and bonding. Bonding between the bridegroom and bride, the husband and the wife. Now, Edmund Spenser is considered as one of the brilliant poets of the Elizabethan age. His contemporaries compare him with Virgil, the Roman poet Virgil, and they call him Spenser is the Virgil of England. What Virgil is to Italy, Spenser is to England. So the critics used to compare Edmund Spenser with Virgil. Milton considered his moral allegory having epic grandeur. Milton admired his craftsmanship. He said he is a great craftsman. He knows the art of writing poetry. The Romantic poets, Wordsworth, Shelley and Keats, they revered his sensuous imagery. They respected, recognized, appreciated, applauded his sensuous imagery. And Keats wrote a poem called The Eve of St. Agnes. In the poem Eve of St. Agnes, written by Keats, John Keats, it is found there is great deal of Spencerian influence. In other words, Keats wrote Eve of St. Agnes under the influence of Edmund Spenser. He learned so many things from Spenser. So he was a revered poet, an acclaimed poet, a renowned poet who understood his job properly. And most of the other critics, they used to appreciate the rich melody, the beautiful structure of his poems. And Edmund Spenser was very inventive, as I told you. He was very innovative. He had the unique ability to fuse artistic beauty with moral idealism. It means he had the aesthetic sense as well as the moral sense, the ethical sense. In other words, Edmund Spenser paid heed to both the sides of human existence. One is the aesthetic side. What is aesthetic side? Appreciation of beauty. And ethical side. Aesthetics and ethics. Ethical side is moral side. He had rich imagination and brilliant descriptive power. His imagination is very rich, very fecund, very versatile. And along with that, he had a wonderful power of description, power of narration, skill of narration, skill of description. So, if you make an attempt to make an overall presentation of Spenser's poetry, you will find that the poetry of Spenser is a rich tapestry of moral vision, romance, love, and artistic innovation. It's a tapestry of moral vision, artistic innovation, romance presentation. Spenser is found most of the times to blend medieval chivalry and Renaissance humanism, created a uniquely English epic tradition. His craftsmanship, his idealism, his influence on later poets are remarkable. He is one of the greatest architects of Elizabethan poetry. You can't exactly say, very briefly, this is what Edmund Spenser is as a poet, because he is multidimensional. In various aspects, he is unique. He is not an ordinary poet. He is not like the common poets. He is something who is inventive, who is innovative, who is romantic, who is patriotic, who is artistic, and at the same time, who makes use of classical traditions. That is the reason why he is called the what? He is called the poet's poet. He is called the poet's poet. Who called him the poet's poet? Charles Lamb. Lamb called him the poet's poet. So reading Edmund Spenser is a real treat. You can never leave behind the poetry of Edmund Spenser. It is also said in the Elizabethan Golden Age, there was one poet who dreamt of creating a national epic like Homer of Greece and Virgil of Italy. He is the only poet. Apart from Spenser, no other poet had thought of writing a national epic, not even Milton. Milton has written epics. What are the epics of Milton? Who can say?
Paradise Lost.
Yes, then
Paradise Regained.
very good, wonderful, brilliant, fantastic, fabulous. Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained. These are the two epics written in English by John Milton. But here is a man, Edmund Spenser, who could never become successful. But he planned to write national epic like that of Homer and Virgil. What book? Book is your history of literature, history of English literature. The only book to guide you to know about the poets, know about a particular age, know about a particular movement is history of English literature. Author, history of English literature, you have Leguy, you have Compton Rickett, you have Leguy Kazamia. If you want to read Indian authors, you have, what's his name? Series. I'm forgetting the name of that writer, Indian writer.
Skin Bond.
Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is a writer. He doesn't write English literature. Ruskin Bond is a writer, story writer. This is Mundra. J.N. Mundra. History of Literature by J.N. Mundra, S.C. Mundra. Indian writers. Okay.
Sir,
So,
could you repeat once?
sorry?
Sir, could you repeat the writers of Indian literature?
Indian literature, Indian English, no. Indian writer of history of English literature. He is an Indian writer. He has written history of English literature. His name is J.N. Mundra and S.C. Mundra. Both of them combinedly have written. J.N. Mundra, M-U-N-D-R-A. S.C. Mundra, M-U-N-D-R-A.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So this is what is Spenser. So Spenser is called the poet's poet, as I told you, and he is deeply influenced by Chaucer. And do you know by whom Chaucer was influenced? I have told you, remember. By whom was Chaucer influenced? By which classical writer? Who inspired him to write Prologue to Canterbury Tales or Canterbury Tales? It is Boccaccio. Boccaccio, remember. Geoffrey Chaucer was greatly inspired by Boccaccio and his book The Decameron to write what? Write Canterbury Tales. Chaucer was inspired by Boccaccio and Spencer was inspired by Chaucer. Look at the, influence. So he was greatly influenced by Chaucer and some Italian writers like Virgil, Greek writers like Homer. He had Renaissance ideals and he accepted the Renaissance ideals and transformed them into English style. He had a great ambition. Spencer had a great ambition, and the ambition was to present England with a national epic. With that intention, he began to write Fairy Queen, the Fairy Queen. And he wanted to make 12 books for Fairy Queen, but he could not complete it. He only wrote 6 books, and 7th book is half written. So his his chief ambition was to give England a national epic with moral vision and national pride. He was very much patriotic. He loved his motherland very much. If you make an objective analysis of Spencer's poetry, you will find Spencer is no doubt idealistic, but at the same time, he is very much down to earth. He is very much practical, very much pragmatic. He is also grounded in politics. His great work, The Fairy Queen, is not just a romance, it's a moral allegory where each knight represents a virtue. The Fairy Queen should not be considered as a romance, rather, it should be considered as a moral allegory in which, in every book, there is a knight who is vouching for a great virtue, a great ideal. The ideals like holiness, temperance, chastity are celebrated in the Fairy Queen. He has also made attempts to praise, admire, acclaim, appreciate, respect Queen Elizabeth I through the character Gloriana and Belphae. Spencer has a wonderful vision. And what is that vision? His vision is Christian ethics, especially Protestant ethics, nationalism, portrayal of nationalism, because he proposed to bring out a national epic. Since many days, he was planning to bring out a national epic. Then he is a champion or a lover of Platonic beauty. He patronizes Platonic beauty. He is a great inventor, innovator. He is a follower of Petrarch, no doubt, because Petrarch invented the sonnet. How Petrarchan sonnet is written, who can say?
So there's an octave in first and then sestate after. It's a 14 line stanza,
Okay.
which has 8 line in at first and 6 after that. Mm, The
After
8 lines
that,
are called octate, and the last 6 lines are called sestate. And there is a question that is being raised, any, let's say, a problem which is being raised in the first eight lines, and there is a change of perspective or maybe a solution to that problem raised in this estate.
and what is that called? After octave, there is a pause. What is that called technically?
Uh, yeah.
Couplet.
No, no. Caesura. Caesura.
Yes.
Remember. Caesura. After the end of the eighth line, there is a slight pause, small pause, which is known as caesura. Then it is followed by a slight turn in the thought. The thought process undergoes a slight change, which is called a volta, Volta. So caesura and volta are the two aspects of Petrarchan sonnet, apart from octave and sestet. Okay, so he learned writing sonnet from uh, Petrarch. Still then, he added something new because he is an innovator. I told you. What did he add? He
He
introduced
added a line.
Spenserian stanza. Spenserian stanza comprised 9 lines. 8 lines are written in iambic pentameters, and the ninth line is a hexameter or Alexandrine. So this is something new. He presented it to English literature. Shakespeare had invented sonnet, style of sonnet in a different way. Shakespeare wrote sonnet divided into 4 parts, 3 quatrains and 1 couplet. First quatrain, second quatrain, third quatrain, and then fourth couplet. Each quatrain comprises 4 lines. Similarly, Spenser invented his own style of writing, and that is known as the Spenserian stanza. Okay, so this is how Spenser is amazing, Spenser is brilliant, and English literature owes a lot to this renowned poet Edmund Spenser. So he was a poet who talks about morality, because in morality you find in the Fairy Queen, each book talks about morality. Then comes the difference between virtue and vice. He celebrates virtue as well as celebrates vice. Virtue is celebrated by Red Cross Rose, Red Cross Rose Night. Vice is celebrated by Archimago. Okay. Una and Red Cross Rose. Vice is celebrated by Duesa and Archimago. And every night presents one virtue: holiness, and temperance, honesty, chastity. So Edmund Spenser is considered as a national treasure by the people of England. They said Spencer is indispensable, and Spencer has made outstanding contributions to enrich the literary firmament of England. John Keats appreciated Spencer and said, Spencer is my master. He is the poet of poets. Charles Lamb had said, Spencer is poet's poet. Now Keats said, he is the poet of the poets, and Spencer is my master. Because John Keats was greatly influenced by Edmund Spencer while writing his poem, The Eve of St. Agnes. As a result, this is really something very remarkable. A poet like Edmund Spencer brought about a new sense of awareness among the public or among the readers in Britain, and he presented to British readers what is literature, what is poetry, and what poetry should cover, what areas should be covered by poetry, why the poet should be applauded. Who said Pankaj? When did you report to the class? Pankaj Kumar?
Yes, sir.
When did you report to the class?
I have not report the class.
You didn't attend the class.
Yes,
So where are you now?
I am at my place at Delhi.
Oh, Arey bhaiya, are you watching the class or not? Are you participating in the online class or not?
I am participating in this class, but I cannot understand what are you, matlab ki topic. I cannot understand because I am a history and political student, sir.
Look, that is your cup of tea, but let me tell you, in the beginning, I have given the introduction. We are going to deal with the Elizabethan period, the age of Renaissance. And before that, we read the Non's Priest's Tale. That was an amusing tale narrated by Non's Priest while moving from Tabard Inn to Canterbury.
Yeah.
If you don't have English background, you have to study history of literature to know about the basics.
Sir, I have clear my basic, but what is the topic in the book? I have no book, or what is the topic you discuss? If I know about the topic, then I learn from book. I
You
have
should
no
have
book.
asked me. Arey, you should ask me. First of all, I covered Non's Priest's Tale. Non's Priest's Tale. Non's Priest is a person who
Non
narrated a story while going to Canterbury. You know Chaucer's prologue to Canterbury Tales.
non freestyle.
You don't know.
No, I don't know, sir.
No, you study. You buy a book and study it.
Yes,
Chaucer has written.
without study it is not easy for me. I know, sir.
Actually, you don't
Yes,
have English background. That's why you are not able to understand. Other people are understanding.
yes, yes,
Okay. So
yes.
you have to make some little more labor in order to cope up.
I
Whatever
can make
I am
effort.
teaching,
Sir,
whatever
I
I am
can,
teaching,
sir, I can make effort from my side properly, but I need guidance and proper मतलब is suggestion हुआ.
oh, guidance shall be coming from my side. But first of all, you know the basics. You don't know
Yes, sir.
what is Canterbury Tales. You don't know what Chaucer is saying. You don't know what is Tabard Inn. These things I
No,
have
sir, I
already
don't know.
discussed.
I don't know, sir.
Okay, you try. Next class we will meet. Thank you very much. For
Okay,
today,
thank you,
this
sir.
is this much. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Where is it?
Yeah.
Everyone left the class, perhaps. Hello. Hello.